Jeremy. Today is day 81 of reading. Today we're reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Let's get started. We're on page 121. What are you talking about, Harry? Perhaps you're getting a little drowsy? Great Scott! Look at the time! We've been here for nearly 4 hours. I never have believed it. Time's flown, hasn't it? Harry didn't answer. He was straining his ears to hear the voice again. But there was no sound now except for Lockhart telling him he mustn't expect a treat like this every time he got detention. Feeling dazed, Harry left. It was so late in the Gryffindor that the Gryffindor common room was almost empty. Harry went straight up to the dormitory. Ron wasn't back yet. Harry pulled on his pajamas, got in bed, and waited. Half an hour later, Ron arrived, nursing his right arm and bringing a strong smell of polish into the darkened room. My muscles have all seized up, he groaned, sinking on his bed. 14 times he made me buff up that Quidditch cup before he was satisfied. And then I had another slug attack over the special award for services to the school. Took ages to get the slime off. How was it with Lockhart? Keeping his voice low as to not wake Neville, Dean, and Seamus, Harry told Ron exactly what he had heard. And Lockhart said he couldn't hear it? Said Ron. Harry could see him frowning in the moonlight. Do you think he was lying? But I don't get it. Even someone invisible would have had to open the door. I know, said Harry, lying back in his four-poster and staring at the canopy above him. I don't get it either. Chapter 8. The Death Day Party. October arrived, spreading a damp chill over the grounds and into the castle. Madame Pomfrey, the nurse, was kept busy by a sudden spate of colds among the staff and students. Her pepper potion worked instantly, though it left the drinker smoking at the ears for several hours afterward. Ginny Weasley, who had been looking pale, was bullied into taking some by Percy. The steam pouring from under her vivid hair gave the impression that her whole head was on fire. Raindrops the size of bullets thundered on the castle windows for days on end. The lake rose. The flower beds turned into muddy streams, and Hagrid's pumpkins fell to the side of garden sheds. Oliver Wood's enthusiasm for a regular training session, however, was not dampened, which was why Harry was to be found late one stormy Saturday afternoon, a few days before Halloween, returning to Gryffindor Tower, drenched to the skin and splattered with mud. Even aside from the rain and wind, it hadn't been a happy practice session. Fred and George, who had been spying on the Slytherin team, had seen for themselves the speed of those new Nimbus 2001s. They reported that the Slytherin team was no more than 7 greenish blurs, shooting through the airs like missiles. As Harry squelched along the deserted corridor, he came across somebody who looked just as preoccupied as he was. Nearless Hitless Nick, the ghost of Gryffindor Tower. He was staring morosely out of a window, muttering under his breath, "Don't fulfill the requirements. Half an inch, if that." "Hello, Nick," said Harry. Hello, said Nearly Headless Nick, starting and looking round. He wore a dashing plumed hat on his long curly hair and a tunic with a ruff, which concealed the fact that his neck was almost completely severed. He was pale as smoke, and Harry could see right through him to the dark sky and torrential rain outside. "You look troubled, young Potter," said Nick, folding a transparent letter as he spoke, tucking it inside his doublet. "So do you," said Harry. Nearly Headless Nick waved an elegant hand. "A matter of no importance. It's not as though I really wanted to join, though I thought I'd apply, but apparently I don't fulfill the requirements." In spite of his airy tone, there was a look of great bitterness on his face. "But you would think, wouldn't you?" he erupted suddenly, pulling the letter back out of his pocket. "That getting hit 45 times in the neck with a blunt axe would qualify you to join the Headless Hunt?" "Oh, yes," said Harry, who was obviously supposed to agree. "I mean, nobody wished more than I do that it had all been quick and clean, and my head had come off properly. I mean, it would have saved me a great deal of pain and ridicule. However, Nearly Headless Nick shook his letter open and read furiously, "We can only accept huntsmen who have been parted company with their body. You'll appreciate that it would be impossible, otherwise, for a member to participate in the hunt activities such as a horseback head juggling and head polo. It is with the greatest regrets, therefore, that I must inform you you do not fulfill our requirements. With very best wishes, Sir Patrick Delaney Podmore." Fuming, the Nearly Headless Nick stuck the letter away. "Half an inch of skin and sinew holding my neck on, Harry. Most people would think that's good and beheaded. But oh no, it's not enough for Sir Properly Decimated Podmore." Nearly Headless Nick took several deep breaths and then said, in a fine calm tone, "So, what's bothering you? Anything I can do?" "No," said Harry, "unless you know where we can get a free Nimbus 2001 for our match against Slip." The rest of Harry's sentence was drowned out by a high-pitched mewling from somewhere near his ankles. He looked down and found himself gazing into a pair of black yellow eyes. It was Mrs. Norris, the skeletal gay cat who was used by the caretaker, Argus Filch, as a sort of deputy in his endless battle against his students. "You'd better get out of here, Harry," said Nick quickly. "Filch isn't in the mood. He got the flu and some third years accidentally plastered frog brains all over the ceiling in Dungeon 5. He's been cleaning all morning, and if he sees you dripping mud all over the place—" "Right," said Harry, backing away from the accusing stare of Mrs. Norris. But not quick enough. Drawn to the spot by the mysterious power that seemed to connect him with his foul cat, Argus Filch burst suddenly through a tapestry to Harry's right, wheezing and looking wildly about for the rule breaker. There was a thick tartan scarf bound around his head, and his nose was unusually purple. "Filth!" he shouted, his jowls a-quiver, his eyes popping alarmingly as he pointed at the muddy puddle that had dripped from Harry's Quidditch robes. "Mess and luck everywhere! I've had enough of you, I tell you! Follow me, Potter!" So Harry waved a gloomy goodbye to Nearly Headless Nick and followed Filch back downstairs, doubling the number of money thumbprints on the floor. Harry had never been inside Filch's office before. It was a place most students avoided. The room was dingy and windowless, lit by a single oil lamp dangling from the low ceiling. A faint smell of fried fish lingered about the place. Wooden filing cabinets stood around the walls. From their labels, Harry could see that they contained the details of every pupil Filch had ever punished. Fred and George Weasley had an entire drawer to themselves. A highly polished collection of chains and manacles hung on the wall behind Filch's desk. It was common knowledge that he was always begging Dumbledore to let him suspend students by the ankles from the ceiling. Filch grabbed a quill from a pot on his desk and began shuffling around looking for parchment. Thank you, everyone. That's all for today. Bye. See you tomorrow.